I'm pretty glad that you're my random pop-up as well.
What up, everybody?
Yesterday after the stream that you were so gracious to help me out on, you and I had like, I don't know, like an hour conversation, because that's what friends do. And we talked about like what's going on in the chicken caw thing. And like I came up with this strategy. My strategy was brilliant. And I just want to tell like someone who appreciates my strategy. Like I just want to tell the story of my failure, because I think this is really important for people to know, right? Especially being like, I'm the guy on the inside, right? Like you're kind of the guy on the inside, but like I'm really the guy on the inside.
Yeah, you're more inside than I am.
Yeah. And so this is what I ended up with in the chicken caw auction. I ended up with 3 50 by 50s, which isn't bad.
That's about what I got.
Those are the pieces that I like, but that like I was the only person to bid on. But in the last 30 minutes of the auction, this is what I had. In the northern sector, I had pretty much like 2/3 of the right side of the rail locked down. I had this crazy temple that I had found that was a little bit off base lockdown. And in the last 2 minutes, I fucking got outbid on it all, Michael. All of it. All of it. Like I had these grand plans and our community fucked us over. And I'm pretty happy that our community fucked us over. Like, don't get me wrong. And by us, I mean me. Like that was like really intense. And I wanted to bring somebody else on here to talk about this. Because like, I think this new dynamic whereby you have this map that you can interact with, and then you place your bid, and then you go in there, like, and then like,
I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of probably one of the coolest, auctions and land acquisitions or whatever I've seen, especially the fact that it was, Dyn map and all that. It didn't work out in our favor, possibly, but again, that's more between the keyboard and the chair, not a tech problem, right?
well, and to be honest, like I kind of know what I did wrong. Like because the dynamics of the auction were actually beautiful, in my opinion.
Correct. That's what I mean. What happened was
like,
exactly
if you bid on something in the last minute, then it added 2 minutes to the clock.
Oh, I didn't realize that it auto extended 2 minutes on the end of it. Really, I didn't realize that. But
yeah, so I was looking at the map, and like in the end, like I was frantically FOMOing, right? Because I knew that I had 250 pieces because they were like turned black and they were blacked out. But like there were pieces in like sectors of the map that were all over the place, and I'm like clicking on them, and then it's like you have to claim this back, and then I had to claim it back, and then like, I bid on them, and somebody else outbid me.
Lolo test that I was sitting there trying to click and re-trigger the highest auction, and I'll be damned if the wax wallet captcha didn't kick in and make me pick fire hydrants, and then it's like get rid of all the cars. Well, there's no more cars on here. Oh, there's this one picture with this one brake light and it's like black. And I was like, I guess that's a car. So long story short, it took me a solid minute to get through those damn captchas. And by then the auction had already ended. So
that's really interesting, actually, because like from a tech perspective, I was using Anchor.
Correct. And that's what I was shotgunning it on the fly. I'm up here. I mean, yes, you cannot. So there you go. There's a word to the wise.
Yeah.
Don't use Wax Wallet to buy anything that you're competing with, because it is just absolutely impossible. By the time you make it through the 15 captchas and the signing prompts, Anchor will blow it out of the water. But I didn't have Anchor set up where I was, so I was just trying to shotgun it, and obviously got burned.
Yeah. So last night I was on the line with you, and I kind of joked about this, and I was seriously joking because I really didn't care. And this is not a designation of what's good for the project or what's not. It was just like my personal thing that I wanted to do, right? Like I wanted to lock up a series of places because I have some things that I want to build. And I kind of joked with you that I wasn't able to get any of the inner rail keys because like I was on the line with you, and like it was like legitimately like 100% a joke because I really didn't care. I was on the line with somebody else today, and I completely ignored them for like 15 minutes while I was trying to put in these like finalizing bids, and I'm like, just do whatever you want to do, like it doesn't matter.
Peter in a sec.
But it's interesting because I was thinking about strategy later, and like I got outbid on like every piece, and I couldn't keep up, and I couldn't like pull those resources back. And let me say that I fucking love the contract that was set up for this. Like, this might be and it's funny because I'm like the inside guy, but I had nothing to do with the organization or the designation of this contract, but this is the most exciting like FOMO I've ever experienced in crypto. So it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. It's like, you shouldn't experience FOMO for your own project, right? But like legitimately, I was.
Yes,
I can show you this paper that I drew up today because of our conversation yesterday. This is the paper that I fucking drew up today. It doesn't say that much, but like it doesn't have that many photos. But like if you pause it, you can see I legitimately went through all of my survival lands in all of the other lands, and I like checked what biome they were because I wanted to bid on certain biomes, and like I was like, oh, these are my final like auction events because of our conversation yesterday that was off air actually. And so like here's what's funny is like I got nothing, and I realized that my whatever the French word is for like you got nothing, like gros de foire or whatever it is. It sounds like it's legitimate, but it's totally not. I should have bid on all the rails instead of all the placeholders beside the rail. Because I would have got them all. Nobody bid on it.
Well, I mean, if there were 0 bids, then yes, that's a no-brainer. I mean, and that's the ones that I got were mostly all the 0 bids that I was the only bid on. But I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, the rails they produce what, like 2x the revenue. So I mean, there's benefit from having the rails versus the land. Like I mean, on mine, I had bought a chunk of those 50s in between some hundreds that we were all kind of bidding on, and none of us got any of the hundreds because they all got scooped at the end. But I have 2 choices. One, I'm about to be 4 people's brand new best friend, or their worst enemy. So
yeah, so that's crazy, right? Like I know the sector. Like so you I think it's okay to say this now because the auction is over. But you were in the south western sector.
That's correct.
Actually, to be honest, I think you made out probably better than some of the other people because a lot of your plots were rail.
Correct. I think it was like 5 of them. So out of I think I bought like 8 of them right there in a pack. Like 5 of them were the rails that ran through there. And it's the rails that divide some of the 100 by hundreds that we got sniped on. So my thought is,
and one of the 3 plots that I actually got was one that you basically said, if you want it, you can have it. I won't outbid you.
No, that wasn't how it went down. It was I went through and was bulk buying them all, and I missed one. And we were on the call, and I was like, "Be damned, I missed this one here." And you're like, "I'm going to buy it." Okay.
I mean, that's a really good friend for you. But like I had a few in that region, and I got outbid by them all. But this was my strategy, and I thought my strategy was actually brilliant. But I think maybe it might have been stupid in the end. Because here's what I did after I had that conversation with you. I was like, I'm gonna wait until like the last like 5 minutes, and I'm just gonna be an ass. Everyone knows who my account is, but this is what I'm going to do. I've got these 3 places locked up. If I lose these other ones, it's okay. But I targeted three villager plots.
We were looking at that earlier, is that out of the villager plots, it was like, zero bids, one bid, and then you'd go to those, like 100 by 100 with a village in there, and it's like, 7, 11, everybody wanted the village.
There might have been ones that went for like 18,000 wax.
Well, and that's what Paul was just literally. He was like, didn't it say it was like 5,000 or 6,000 wax? It was like, they had gotten up there pretty high, and I was like, I don't want a villager that bad.
I'm pretty sure they went to like 18,000 wax. Some of these plots. That's fucking insane. 18,000 wax. All right, and we got Zestra in the comments. She's saying, I just grabbed near my existing property. I was outbid on my land. That's like I really wanted to jump on this call, and I'm really happy that you're here, because if it would have just been me ranting away, I'm sure people would have liked it. But I like the fact that you're semi-sober and I'm not. But like, prove me wrong. Is this not the most exhilarating with the 3D map?
Much more
the way that it works out, right?
I agree that, and of course, I was just telling Paul is that, what's kind of happened with a lot of the pack drops and breaks. I mean, that there's no rush like that random pack opening, purchase aspect, in my opinion, just because it's so unknown. But it's gotten automated. I mean, all these pack buys, they just get ripped on and immediately hit the secondary market. I mean, it's not as much of the people that are wanting to buy it as opposed to the people that are just buying it to flip it, So I do think that it may have had a little bit of an ability to more separate the auto flippers from the people playing the game, right? I mean, you went and picked a land, and it wasn't one auction for all of them and you randomly got whatever. It was, no, go pick one, fight it out, duke it out. I mean, form your strategies. There were no strategies that we formed when we bought the random land plot keys, because you couldn't. My strategy was hope and pray, right? I hope I'm on a creative land or a survival land, and that didn't always work out, right? So it was much more open-ended and uncontrolled, but very exhilarating, because you really had absolutely no clue. This is more the competition, and there's somebody else out there. They have their strategy. You have your strategy. How much are you willing to pay versus they willing to pay? I also feel like it's a little better, because I'm so upset that all of my projects that are doing these drops, they sell their packs for normal prices, $40 a pack or $100 for a mega pack or something. Well, they immediately get, cleaned out, 30-second sellout. And then every one of those packs hits the market for $200, $300, $400, which is great overall. People are excited and using it, but the artist doesn't really get a lot of that. They may get a little commission, but the original project got that $40, and then the flipper got the $160 difference in between. Whereas I'm pretty sure that with this style of an auction, like you saw, it went for 15,000 wax. That was the auction from the original seller. So the project got that money, not the flipper. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Well, and Not Giving It is in the comments right now, and he's saying, sadly, there were many flippers. I got outbid when I saw them being resold.
People are going to flip them, don't get me wrong. I more mean the auto flippers as much. I mean, people are in it to make money, and they know that's, if there's 5 bids.
I'm kind of okay with that, but I'm just gonna say this, and I'm probably not allowed to say this, but this sale is over, and you will never see these prices from us again.
Oh, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't even know.
I'm going to speak on it. I'm probably fucking going to get fired for it, so I'm just going to speak on it anyway.
We'll go back to my original point.
Let me say this, right? Like, this sale is over, and you will never see these prices from us again. But we're not just going to delete this land from the server. Let's put it that way. So here's the thing, right? If people are flipping on these secondary markets, that's cool. And I might actually go and buy some shit from the secondary markets.
I don't have a problem with flippers or people that own an NFT getting in and going for an upgrade. I mean, hell, I've done very well on some of that myself, not intentionally, just the natural progression of it. My point is that all of these projects start with a normal price, or have, the other projects started with a normal price, and even the land sale. What was the land? $175. It was like $75 for Genesis land key or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It immediately got scooped and then immediately flipped out onto the market for $300. And then people were buying them for $300 or whatever the price was. But the point is that the project never had really an opportunity to capitalize on that added demand. They got the original $40 for the price and they're happy with it. Obviously it's better than zero, but there was no mechanism for them to, if people were willing to pay $400 for it, which obviously they were on the second market, the project never got any access to that. They were already out of the loop and it was all the secondary flippers. This put a lot more of that purchase price. Even the flipper had to pay 4, 5, 10x the original purchase price, right? So they didn't get to jump in at the crazy low price because the project's not trying to kill everybody,
right?
But they didn't get to make the 20% upgrade. Okay, they bought it for 8,000 wax and maybe they sold it for 16 because it was whatever, but the uplift got 8,000 wax as opposed to what was it? 1,300 wax was the starting price or whatever, right? I mean, I'm happy that I think, and I don't know all the mechanics, but that it allowed the price to be naturally, driven and the project get the return of it versus the people that are just driving the price up to drive the price up. So
I have like 3 things to say to that comment. Number one, I'm happy that I learned something, because realistically, that's kind of what happened. I fucking played the game completely wrong today, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I played the game completely wrong, and I fucking got beat. Like, I got owned. I got my ass handed to me, and I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. The second point is someone who did what I wanted to do that actually was successful. So screw you, Sammy Snake Man. But like, seriously, don't screw you, because Sammy Snake Man, Sammy Snake, we had him on the channel earlier tonight, and he's in the comments, and he's awesome. What he's bringing to the community, what he's doing, what he's been doing for Alien Worlds, what he wants to do for the uplift is absolutely amazing. And basically, they formed a collective, and they were able to like pull in, according to his comment, they were able to pull in a lot of lands together. I don't know what his strategy was, and we hinted at this on our live stream tonight. Like, we're gonna have him back very soon, because I want to know what lands he pulled in. I want to know where he was. I want to know what the strategy was. I think that it was a really cool idea, and I'm super happy that worked out not for him, for his community, right? Because they had this collective effort, right? And that was my goal as an individual, and it didn't work out. And the third thing that I want to say, yeah, we're not deleting unsold properties, not giving it. That, I apologize. I might have misspoke. You might have misunderstood, or I might have misspoke. I'm not really sure which. What I'm saying is that the people who bought properties, the people who were successful in these auctions, these will never go on the market by us for less than they went on the market in the last 24 hours, right? So Michael, you might have been successful in a bid, and you might have, I think the base price was like 1,300. Like, I got 150 by 50 plot for 1,300 wax, right? And so if these go on the market again, they will never be valued at lower than 1,300 wax, and I can't actually honestly be like see them being valued at 1,300 wax ever again. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, so the people who participated in this auction, you'll never be underbid by us, right? Like, there's a lot of plots that didn't sell out, and that land right now is mute. You can walk across it, you can interact with it, you can get rewards for wandering by it, but nobody can build on it, nobody can develop it. Like, it's like does this make sense? It's like national forest. You're not allowed to.
Backwoods America. So yeah, I'm very familiar with a lot of nothing between the cities. So
Yeah. So anyone who purchases lands today, like, I will probably quit my job if this is the thing, because I'm going to be really pissed off. But like, I can almost like 100% guarantee you that the land values that you purchase lands for today at the base price will never be offered again. Never, definitely never be offered lower than that. Like, we will never do that as a company, right? And I'm leaning towards the fact that we'll probably never, like, we offer them at 20%, 25% lower than the like the value of all of our other lands and all the other sectors. I'm guessing that like it'll never be that again, right? So anyone who picked up land today, congratulations, because you got a 25% discount if you got it at the base price, right? Now, if you paid 18,000 wax for your lands because you were in a fucking 10 contract bidding war, and then that's fucking awesome. Like, I really hope you do something awesome with that land, right?
fair enough.
I mean, my I don't know what that sound was.
Oh, that's our Paul's going in and out of the door. It's our alarm system.
But do you know what I'm most happy about? I have one little 50 by 50 plot of land that is next that is next to like a cross that you, I think, own. And I'm like on the end of the cross, and I looked at the map later, and I'm like, God damn it! I should have bought up the sides because nobody did it, and I was like focused on the
down at the bottom. We thought about going and snagging those up too, but well, say la vie. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I got that cross, and you got the westernmost tip of it. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of what to do. You know, I can do a big spanning arch all the way over the rail. You know, because most people have to build on the rail, that 50 by 50. Well, if you own both sides of it, you could span the rail.
Well, here's what I'm excited about is, like, I think a lot of the rail didn't sell.
Correct.
And I have a feeling that a lot of people were thinking what I was thinking, which doesn't bode well for me as a content creator. But anyway, but like seriously, anyway, like a bunch of people were thinking what I was thinking, and I thought I was brilliant. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Because, like, I cashed in some KuCoin, which, like, is not a small feat. Like, KuCoin could potentially be the next Binance, to get enough wax to be able to do this. And most of my shit, I had to claim the wax back. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get like fucking rail plots tomorrow in the outer rim. And I'm going to find an area that nobody else wants, that probably everyone else wants. So I think, like, I'm going to collaborate with people like you, Michael. Some of my other friends.
Yeah, apparently I've got a whole shitload of wax to claim back because I lost all those other auctions. So
yeah, like, let's claim these back and let's like take over a wing, and if other people outbid us, it's cool. But this is my incentivization for my friends. If you want to collaborate with me and you want to have a place near me and you want to do something cool that's preferably not monstrous and you know means that my other friends like Michael EOS USA has to build a wall so they don't have to see it when they're hanging out in their property, like, harvesting apples. Get in touch in the Telegram, get in touch with Michael, get in touch with me, get in touch with Corey. Corey's probably going to do his own thing because that's what he does. But I wanna own a part of this map.
You do a 50 by 50 plot right beside me.
No, I can't do what I want to do. Right. So here's the fallback, and I think that there will be other things that go in this map, but I want to own a part in this map that this is what Sammy Snake said to me tonight. So I'm totally stealing from him, but I want to own a corner, a part in this map, whereby everyone is part of our community. We can all collectively work together, and we can make something together. We can gather resources together. We talked about this last night as well. Like, we have lands in other worlds, and we can bring those resources from survival world to survival
Not
world.
right now, you can't. I told you last night, I could not bring it. Dumped my inventory going from Gratitude over to London. So I haven't tried all the others, but I was not able to bring resources from Gratitude to London to help somebody out.
From Gratitude to London, you can't port resources?
You used to be able to, and I'm assuming when they had to do the server split up, I don't know whether it's on the roadmap to get back going or whether that may just be a natural aspect of it. But I can tell you, Ted was in last night. You should go and look. I took a picture of him. He has like 5 skeleton arrows in his back, and he just was getting nailed. And so I was over there to try to help him out. Like I said, I was bringing him a care package. I was bringing him some cobblestone to build a house, some bread to eat, some armor, some tools. And I loaded it all up. I jumped to the spawn point, and immediately I went complete empty inventory. And I was like, well, not going to be able to do that. So I assume it's because they did the split up of the servers. I don't know whether they plan on fixing it or not. But yeah, I could not drag between London and Gratitude. So that sucks.
Yeah, that seems strange to me. And I think I'm with Zester in the comments here. I think
you were able to, and I had always heard you could, and it makes sense to keep that economy the same. I'm going to assume, totally assumption, that when they did this server breakout, which is in the plans, and it's needed to be able to scale like we need to, and that's what kind of fractured the Dynamap and some of these things that it was a big architectural change, and I think we're on different servers now, so. Like, for instance, we don't see
it's not surprising that you can't bring, because Chik'In just went live, but like if it's Landom and
well, I think it's all of them that right now by default, it's just you get an inventory here, you get an inventory here, on each of those servers, you have a respective inventory and it doesn't cross between the two. I'm hoping, and I think they have said, no, it'll be married between the two, but I can confirm last night, I thought that it would work and it did not. As soon as I loaded up my bags and jumped over to London, I showed up in the same situation as Ted. We were both getting shot and had nothing to defend ourselves.
Well, the next time you do that, call me. Because I might.
Do you have something on London that already has resources? Because you can't bring me resources either.
I can place a fire for you so that you will not get shot.
That's right. That's right. The saving grace. That's right.
Yeah. I'm not yeah. So here's the thing, right? I'm really interested in. I fucking hate gaming. I really do. I don't like being a gamer, but I love being a designer. And Minecraft for me is like being able to design in coronavirus times because I don't have to go outside. But I'm pretty adamant about Sammy Snake, who was on the channel tonight, made me smile. And I didn't say this on the show tonight because what he's planning on doing and what he has been doing with the alien world is absolutely amazing. But I'm going to say this again. If you're out there in London, especially London, which is a creative world.
No, survival.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah, if you're out there in London, which is a survival world, and you're on an ocean plot, and you don't know what the fuck to do because you can't even get a fucking boat because you got to swim out there and like you don't have any resources because there's no resources there, hit me up in the Telegram. I will build you a 5x5 platform. I will drop a chest onto that platform and I will give you some torches. I will give you some food. I will give you enough to survive so that you don't get 6 arrows in your back.
What we're hoping to do, and like I said, I built it on gratitude and was getting ready to start fleshing it out on the other plots, on the other regions. But like a starter pack is a little bit of food, a little bit of stone, a little bit of wood, a little bit of this. I mean, to try to be able, because it's hard. I mean, the struggle is real, yo. I mean, you get that sun goes down, and those mobs don't care who you is, and you're halfway. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've died trying to get from spawn back to a plot, for the first time. But, especially when there's no rails in the world. But anyway, I mean, yeah, and you've got different welcome wagon parties that are probably going to start, helping people out, doing what they can, trying to meet people and give them tools. But the problem is right now you can't bounce between the regions, so you're going to have to wait on people to spin up chicken curry, factories to be able to provide some of that. And
yeah, fair enough. I mean, Cinderella Man, Sammy got to me because Sammy stands for the same things as me. Before blockchain, before crypto, I was a permaculture designer, and I'm all about communities, and I want to see communities succeed. I'm not like Michael, whereby if someone happened to show up on my, front lawn, and I woke up in the morning, I would pull out a fucking gun and shoot them. I mean,
that wasn't. You misunderstood that. You're welcome to do that at my house. I told you not to do that outside of our Bitcoin mine. They don't take kindly to strangers just camping in the front yard.
I know.
You're welcome in my house. Come a couple miles down the road. I got you covered, my man. But we're a bunch of Southern boys. You don't want to go rolling up on that Bitcoin mine.
I'm just always going to take the piss out of you. Do mobs spawn on Rails? Yes, mobs spawn anywhere that there isn't light. But no, it depends on the world. Right now, mobs aren't spawning in Chik'In, but they will be enabled in the future.
They don't spawn at all on Genesis.
They don't spawn at all on Genesis. Very true. And even if they did, it wouldn't matter. If you have a London water plot, I might be your neighbor. Stop by and I'll hook you up. Thank you, Cosmore.
There's a lot.
Cosmore, reach out to me and tell me your name, and I will come and help you. Help these other people. I'm one of the poor on an ocean plot. Cruise control. Again, if you're someone that's on an ocean plot, I think Corey warned me about this. He didn't warn me about giving. He warned me about the fact that this is going to cause problems, and he was completely wrong, which I fucking think is hilarious because this community is so awesome. He said, you can't offer to buy, build people a little island so they can get started. You will be bombarded. Nobody is bombarding me. Go into the Telegram channel, tag Jimmy D, tag Kansai Crypto, and I will talk to you. We will find out a DM situation for you. I think Michael would probably be in a similar boat as well. I mean, if somebody came to you and they're like, we have a water plot in gratitude, what are we going to do? I'm pretty sure Michael would show up at your land, or Anders, or any of the old school guys that we love and appreciate and we love having on this channel. They would give you enough bread to last you through the night. They would put up a fire or some torches. so that you wouldn't fucking die with 5, skeleton arrows in your back.
I'm telling you, go in the channel. It was in the main channel last night, and I was like, I've never seen one person, and there are arrows all on the ground. I mean, this guy was just lighting him up. But I posted it in the main channel, I don't know, at like 1 o'clock last night. But just go look at the pictures for the channel. You'll see them.
And I mean, like, is this a question or is this a comment? Because, like, if it's a comment, I'm super happy. Anto should definitely be freed. And Anto says, of course, no, but I appreciate the effort. And my question to Antos is, have you checked? Because you told me that you didn't check anymore. Will creepers destroy the rails if they go boom? Michael?
Say that again?
Will creepers destroy the rails if they go boom?
Can destroy everything. Matter of fact, you can be hiding in a church, which I kind of thought was a sacred thing, right? They will blast the front of the church off. I mean, it's a whole nother ball game over there.
And yes, do cats still scare off creepers? Yes, they do.
Cats do, but I mean, we've got like an infestation of cats, and I still get blasted by it. Because as soon as I walk out the doors, like, it's funny is that like they're standing outside the doors waiting on me. I mean, I had it happen at Spawn one time. I had it happen at my place. So like I say, they just sit outside and wait on you. And as soon as you walk outside, ding, 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 boom. Fun fact, I've always played on mute because I didn't like the background noise, and I was always playing late at night, so I couldn't do that. So I've never heard any of the Minecraft sounds. I never knew that creepers came up behind you and hissed. I just was standing there whacking away, and all of a sudden, bam, got my whole side blown off. And I was like, oh, I had a little warning. But anyway, so yeah, I never knew that they made noises.
I think I have my noises tailored. And so, like that chalkboard nail screeching thing that people always complain about?
I mean, I know of it. I don't know of anything in Minecraft because it's all muted.
The thing for me that really freaks me out is like I have selective muting, and I'll be on my plot like at the perimeter, and it's pretty well lit up, but those fucking skeletons will like shoot the arrows, and I can hear them penetrating my body. And this like, God damn, like I'm looking around, I'm like, where are you from? Like, where? Like, I don't know what's happening. And it's like, I'm freaked out, and I die and I respawn, and all my shit's there. And it's kind of, I'm happy that my shit's there. But at the same time, it's been like 1 minute since I died and respawned. I go back to that same fucking place to try to find that goddamn skeleton to fucking kill him. That's like my one-track mind.
Hey, well, like I say, it's all a game. You can do whatever you want to do.
Not giving it. I'm totally new to Minecraft. Michael as well. We are. And
Minecraft, I don't know, a month, 2 ago, and I mean, I've built some crazy things, but
you don't need to be. This is what like I want to create, and back to that response about Sammy Snake is like, I'm not going to create a community for you guys to be able to get free Minecraft accounts. It's not my thing. I really like the fact that like Sammy Snake is doing that. I really like the fact that Sammy Snake is giving free shovels to people who want to mine alien worlds. I'm not going to do any of that. I mean, I'm a little bit annoyed that like I only got 250 by 50 plots in Chik'In, but at the same time, I'm freaking ecstatic. I'm ecstatic about the fact that I got those, and if I had walked away with nothing, I would have been really upset. And I'm ecstatic about the fact that like I had learned an experience, because I would have been cheaper and I could have bought a whole fucking line of rail for the amount of plots that I lost, really, realistically. But here's the thing, right? Like when you look at it, when you look at the drawdown of what happens, there's going to be a lot of people in these survival worlds, maybe potentially even in Chik'In, that 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 don't know what to do when they get in there because they're new. If you don't
Oh
know
yeah,
what
I mean,
to
I
do
see them in the
because
channel all the time.
if you don't know what to do because you get in there when you're new, I'm gonna speak for you here, Michael. I do apologize for that. But look up people like Michael, look up people like Anders, look up people like myself, and we will throw you something so that you
Well,
don't
and I'm
fucking
gonna also
die
say this.
every 3.5 seconds, right?
I'll also say this is, I mean, one of the, because we've got some plots and I mean, we've built some things, for some other projects, but really the one thing I think that EOS USA is going to kind of focus on is like resource depots, is that there's a lot of people that are going to kind of be in a bind that they've got this land, and whether you know what to do or not, I mean, you're not going to build this big stone castle on a water plot because it's so hard to get those resources. So trying to figure out a way to, produce and have a resource depot, two sides. One, if you're just getting started, man, I'm not looking to take your lunch money just whenever you first get started. But as you find yourself, you've got two choices. You can either spend your time building out what you need for Minecraft survival, or maybe you can just go and find it, and buy it or trade for it or something like that. So we're trying to come up with a mechanism to where getting materials on these water worlds and some of these things are a lot less difficult, even if it's just getting started, right? I mean, if I could just build a daggum house, and do this, or a farm or something like that, then obviously the world is your oyster. You don't have to keep coming back and buying stuff. But that, I mean, obviously the community is going to help some, but I mean, there's only so much that everybody's going to be able to do. But we're trying to kind of put a structure around it. And like I said, I got burned because I can't ferry stuff between worlds right now. But that's basically what our gratitude plot is nothing but a resource.
I wish I could say that. If I say that, I'm gonna get fired.
But did I say something I shouldn't have said? I mean, it's the economics of the game.
No, you said everything perfectly, actually, Michael. Because here's the thing. We're gonna have various sectors that are open to various populations at various times. And some of them may or may not sell out. And so the fact that people can build a collective across worlds and then be able to transfer those resources to me is actually quite important, right?
Well, I mean, that's part of the whole economic. I mean, you're either going to isolate all the economies per server, which I don't think they want to, but I mean, that's at least doable. But like I say, I feel like that's going to be, I mean, that's how the way it works in every Minecraft, whatever. You're going to find that societal structure to where somebody's going to create the resources, somebody's going to ferry and run the resources, and somebody's going to need the resources, supply and demand. So
I like how you say like every Minecraft, but you've only been playing Minecraft for a month and a half.
no, it's just I've heard. That's what I know, and in seeing the conversations. I mean, even before y'all launched the actual servers and all, it was I saw people talking about, I'm going to be a materials runner. I'm going to build a farm, this, that, and the other. I mean, and that's when it really clicked is Minecraft is a society, is a community, it's a world. You know what I mean? I mean, it's people's alter egos even half as much, but the same societal structure will kick in, is that you'll have supply and demand. You'll have people that don't want to spend the time doing it and are willing to pay, and there are going to be people that are willing to spend the time to create it and get paid for it. So I mean, it's just natural progression of any. I mean, we saw that in what the World of Warcrafts and the all of these kind of immersive, what are the MMORPGs and all of that you'll people find roles get defined and filled by the community as it sees fit, right? So
I'm just a little bit pissed off at you right now.
what I do?
Nothing. Just made a lot of sense and clarity.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'll try to go back to being dumb.
Not you. Like, here's my thing. Like, I played the game wrong.
Oh, you're still upset about your lands?
No, I'm upset about some other way that I played the game wrong. And here's what I'll say. Right? Like this is actually the first time I've really played the game, right? Like I'm in Genesis. I created Jenner EOS for the Jenner EOS team. None of those rewards come back to me. They all go back to Jenner EOS. I'm in gratitude next to you, actually. I've never been to your plot. I do apologize for that. I created an awesome temple and like an awesome underground mining farm that I carried out a bunch of stuff for like EOS Asia and EOS Go. Again, none of those rewards come back to me. I got some Landom rail and some Landom plots. I don't know about all of my Landom rail. One of them I kind of semi-developed. The Landom plots, though, or the Genesis plots that I have, the majority of them are in the ocean, which is cool. Like I don't mind being in the ocean, especially in Genesis, because that's where I was with Jenner EOS. But this chicken caw thing, was my chance to carve out like a big space for me to be able to like learn Minecraft and do what I wanted to do and build the shit that I wanted to build. Like build this like amazing food forest, Japanese type of temple thing, like maybe a fucking Greek amphitheater, even though those things don't look like they go together, they totally do. And I got a 50 by 50. So community out there, congratulations to all of you because you're awesome. But at the same time, I'm going to come in and play on my 50 by 50. But like mostly, I'm looking forward to when the next sector opens because I'm going to play this game so much better.
Like, learn your lessons. Yeah, yeah.
Right. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Well, hell, we'll make that 50 by 50 awesome. Like I say, we'll figure out what we can do with all those. The rail.
Excited, yeah, and then that's the thing. I'm excited to see what happens because there's a bunch of empty plots.
I'm also curious to see. I mean, somebody outbid for those 100 by 100s. I guess I should go and look and see if they immediately got flipped. Maybe they just got dumped on the market. But I'm excited that if somebody bought it, then somebody's going to want to build on it and try to get their money back for it. So I'm curious. Are we going to be able to benefit from the 100 by 100s putting something cool on there and us being right beside them?
I mean, I think supporting the secondary market is a good thing. I'm not sure if I'll personally support it.
Well, and I guess that's a whole different conversation. But
if there's something that I really want and it's at a reasonable price, I'm not going to support something that's 3x the value, right?
Well, and I mean, then you don't feel like it's worth the value that is being presented at. So if somebody else will, or they'll lower their price, and if they want their, to get the money, then they'll lower it to a more reasonable price. I mean, that's the simple economics.
No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't put your land up for sale or you shouldn't buy things. What I'm saying is like exactly what Michael's saying. People value things in different regions, right? And like this whole drop to me taught me that like maybe my value system was a little bit off base. that's really all I have to say for right now.
Well, I mean, maybe you short-sighted what others might value that as well. The lack of engagement on some lands did not mean that there was lack of engagement on all lands. So yeah, that somebody else wanted your land more than you did. Not so much more.
And that's the thing. Like, it's not that I didn't anticipate it. It's like I had no idea that it was going to explode at the last minute.
I could have told you that. I think I did tell you that on the call yesterday. Is that those last 5 minutes? That's when everybody's going to drop those orders in. So
you did tell me that, and actually, I did prepare for that, but I didn't prepare enough.
Right? Well, and the game changes. I mean, next time they'll look a little different. I mean, it's all a game that you're technically battling each other, trying to get the lowest
Well,
price.
and like I think we gotta drop off the line now because you got stuff to do and I got stuff to do. But like just to finalize it, because I think you bring up a really good point. Like I actually didn't think about what you said before you said it yesterday, off the air, and then I did think about it. I was like, why? Like I have a really comfy position here on this rail, and it's gonna be fine. What I didn't anticipate is every fucking property that I had held being outbid in the last minute. Because what happens when every property is being outbid in the last minute is you've got to go back into the wallet, then you've got to like claim your resources to be able to do another bid, and you've got like 2 minutes to do it. Like it's fucking worse than trying to transfer wax from KuCoin to your wax account. I love KuCoin because they support wax, but I also love KuCoin because like it's almost impossible to hack. You didn't hear that here, but like
I was like, don't tempt them.
in order to like send funds from one place to another from KuCoin, you've got to like actively open 3 different accounts and search 3 different numbers and plug those 3 different numbers in the 2 minutes that they allot you to do it, or the transaction fails. That's
it's funny, and then maybe it was on. No, it was in one of the other chat rooms. We talked about creating an NFT pawn shop because of all these people that need this wax ASAP. Is that and as a BP, we've got a bag, but to take a position against NFTs, so you stake the NFTs, and you can get a wax loan or whatever at I don't know 70% of the value of the NFT. And then, obviously if you can get your pack and turn it, flip it, do whatever you want to do, or you've got multiple auctions, where you keep locking up all your whatever. That way you could have that flexibility. And then of course, hey, it didn't work out for you. Well, I mean, worst case, you lost your NFT, that we at least get something back. But we toyed around with, I don't even know how legal that is, but the idea was that you've got these people kind of similar to you, is where you can get into these binds pretty quick, where you really wish you have asset but you don't have liquidity. And so what if you could gain liquidity by do like a pawn shop, taking one of the NFTs that you have, putting it up as collateral, and say, I'll come back and pay this loan, or you can have my collateral.
I mean, it's a great course of study for like anyone who's interested in history, to be honest. We have to go, but I want to deal with this question on the screen. Having the wax being held up was brutal.
Yeah, but they're saying the same thing. That it gets locked up, like, you gotta claim it, you can't do anything until you turn that all around. Whereas if you have a bag, you just keep you've got a more rotating stock. So
But I want to comment on that in 2 ways.
Okay.
When I was in the thralls of the moment in the last 2 minutes, and I had to go in to my Anchor wallet and like click the button to be able to release the wax that showed up on the top of the screen. Because when like you have an option of, I think this is beautiful actually. When you have an option of like green, claim your money back, or red, buy something new, the majority of people are going to green claim their money back, right? Yeah. And so I think, according to that comment, having your wax held up is brutal. I put a lot of thought into this over the last 24 hours, and I actually disagree. I think, from my personal perspective, and I'd like to know my friend who runs bot farms for a living over there on the other side of the screen. But
I have no bots. Why does everybody think I have bots? I have potatoes, but I don't have bots.
It's a good running joke. But I think actually this probably makes it more decentralized and more secure than you would think, right? Like if you actually have to claim back the bid that you just lost in the 2 minutes before placing another bid, that 2-minute window is enough time for you to claim that back and place another bid on that same property. But if you're out and about and you're looking at like 100 other bids and 100 other places.
Oh, no, not even that. I mean, like I said, I spent almost 2 minutes trying to get through a CAPTCHA on my WaxCloud wallet. So, I mean, I get the frustration. I mean, it kind of sucks. You can't really do a bidding war whenever it locks it for 2 minutes after every bid. And especially when people go in there and do it the last minute because they know you probably can't get your wax back out in time. I mean, that's a strategy in itself. Now,
Well,
if you have
maybe instead of you, no, I'm sorry, I don't accept that as an excuse because, like, you're a smart guy.
What
And
don't you accept?
I do apologize for all the people that we constantly tell Wax Cloud Wallet is the easiest onboarding solution in the crypto space. So I do apologize for that. But you're a smart guy. And like, so you sitting there saying like, oh, I wasn't able to like, get this thing or that thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean, it's because, I mean, you know exactly where the CAPTCHAs came from is that it didn't used to be that way, but it was so easy that it was easily botted. And so they've had to put in these CAPTCHAs and put in these extra bumps and bruises that we're all running into. But no, I mean, I'll disagree with your opinion that you shouldn't be telling people Wax is still the easiest onboarding. It still ain't MetaMask, my man. You still have a lot of those features that, you can log in with your Google. You can do all of that.
No. That's actually, maybe I said that, but that wasn't what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say was Wax still is the easiest onboarding. But if you're choosing to use Wax Cloud Wallet and then you're complaining about the reCAPTCHA, then that's...
Well, you need to understand what you're working with. What I will say is don't.
I feel bad, but like, sorry, just let me finish. Like, I feel bad, but like the reCAPTCHA is only a problem on Wax Cloud Wallet. It's not a problem on. It's not a problem on Anchor. It's not a problem on Skype. Right.
Well, so, for the most part, but that is correct. I mean, there are so like Block says as CAPTCHAs now too, because I mean they're starting to figure out ways to exploit that. But I mean, and I even said at the beginning of the call, I would not use Wax Cloud Wallet to try to do any of these time-based, auctions or purchases, because those mechanisms that they've had to put in there cause it enough of a delay that those that aren't using them will always win. It sells out in 26 seconds. You're going to take 26 seconds to do a CAPTCHA. So, and like I say, I mean, I knew that. I mean, my problem was I couldn't pick the right CAPTCHA. If I'd have gotten a different set of pictures, maybe I'd have been better. But I mean, it's somewhat frustrating that you can't truly have a bid war. Like if you're at an auction house.
Hey, talk about that. Like, so can I ask a question? Because like I'm a little bit confused now. You said if you would have got the different set of CAPTCHA, then you might have been quicker.
Yeah, I failed the CAPTCHA like once or twice because I mean I was looking at it and I was like, there are no more cars on the screen. Well, it was like some dark picture of a brake light or something, and I was like, oh. So I mean, the reason it took me probably 20 seconds longer is because I failed 2 CAPTCHA attempts because I'm trying to bang through it and go quick, and I failed. And I mean, between the keyboard and the chair, but even still, the problems ultimately. Wax Cloud Wallet is not designed for speed anymore because it was so speedy and easy. It got botted heavily. So they had to throttle it back and are working on that. And that's now where Anchor actually can become quicker because you don't have all those extra checks. But yeah, I mean, in 2 minutes, I wasn't able to get through a process to resubmit a bid. It wasn't because I was claiming my funds. It was because I got caught on the Wax Cloud Wallet looping. But as for the claiming of the funds from the bids, it sucks because it does cause a bigger problem like this, is that somebody can outbid you and know you probably have at least 30 to 60 seconds before you can even get another one back through, much less if it's Wax Cloud Wallet, or much less if you don't even have the funds, I personally, I kind of like that aspect. Well, but
like as much as I got screwed today, I actually really
it allows somebody to much more easily sneak the last person, because somebody's gonna get the last one in, even when there was time enough and somebody wanted it back and they couldn't get it through in time. So that's why I say is that it does frustrate me a little that it locks it up and people can't get their funds to make another bid until they reclaim it. Do you just get tired and leave?
I'm still here.
Anyway, because like I say, what it does is it allows whoever is.
So I do think that we have to wrap this up. But here's my question to you then, because I thought about this and I actively decided that I like it the way that it is now. And what I thought about was like, if you're outbid, would it make sense to be able to just add, to your bid and outbid the other person?
Right. I mean, instead of having to claim it and throw it back in there, yes. Now, of course, that's the same thing as me having enough wax and just submitting another bid and then claiming it to refill it. But not everybody has luxury.
And yeah, so on that point, I actually, like, personally, not a company thing. This is me personally. I actually like the fact that you actually have to go and claim it, because if you can just add, then whales can go across the board and just like click, 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 click. And to all of you people who are whales who are saying, "Oh, God damn it, we earned our position," well, that's cool, but fuck you.
Whale can still
I understand that you earned your position, but like I really want people to be in the game and people to play. I don't want this speculative nature. I don't want people to like have to pay.
But what you're talking about
residence in your property, and like this is again my personal position, not company perspective. Corey might have a different idea. Gary might have a different idea. Anyone who's involved with our organization, Nick might have a different idea. But my personal position as a fucking permaculturalist is that like everyone should be able to play. And this is why I love Sammy and what Sammy brings to the space.
I mean, everybody should be able to play. I agree with that, but I don't understand how locking it in an auction and having to claim it to get it back has anything to do with that. As a matter of fact, it supports the whales because the whales have the tokens not to have to deal with it. Like I've got to go in now and I've got to claim, I don't know, like 10,000 wax from all these auctions that I lost. But that wasn't preventing me from going and bidding on another 10 lands or something, right? I mean, if you're a whale, you have that impacts the non-whale more than it impacts the whale, because the whale can just keep throwing tokens and then go back and claim them once they're done. Whereas
I didn't see it the same way, but that's actually a really good point, to be honest.
I mean, I can tell you, I personally did it. Like I said, I have pending claims on Atomic from other stuff that I got the little green bar, and I'm like, I'll get it eventually. I mean, it's there. I'll go back and get it, but I didn't have to have it. So it favors those that have bigger bags, because the little man has to claim it, has to go through the capture or whatever, and then has to resubmit the bid again. So anyway, we can go on forever on it. But
no, but actually, I was thinking from a different perspective. I was thinking from the perspective that, like, if it's a little bit difficult, but I was thinking from a different perspective. I was thinking, like, if you have to click that button, 10 times for 10 different plots, then it becomes problematic, right? So I think there's valid points, probably more so for you than me, because most people aren't bidding on 10 plots. They're bidding on one and getting bid out at the last moment. But it was exciting for me. And Michael, thank you for this short 20.
Yeah, that 15-minute call. I can't do a call. It's my fault as much as any. I like to talk.
No, I do.
The people that tuned in and joined us, they feel like they got their money's worth for it, right?
Can you believe that there's 15 people sitting here listening to us?
Are there really? I mean, I can't see how many there are, but an hour in of a random call, there's still 15.
Our max was like 22. We had 22 people tuning into us. That's
really
crazy. And we're basically just complaining about being on the inside and not getting the fucking land that we want.
No, you're complaining about it. I'm trying to explain to you that that's the way of the world.
Oh, I love you, Michael, and all of you out there in the
Metaverse.
comments and the metaverse as well. Thank you for tuning in, because I'm gonna have this conversation with Michael anyway. I mean,
it's always good to have it open, and like I say, we had some comments come rolling in and got a little bit of inspiration for chat. So yeah, I always enjoy these and look forward to the next one, my man.
I mean, like, here's the thing: if we didn't have a YouTube channel, like, I would have messaged you the same thing, and I still wanted to jump online and talk to you. So the fact that there's like 15, 18, 17, 100 people that, like, at any given time want to listen to us ramble our ways and interact in the comments, thank you so much. So we're gonna cut it. Are you gonna do the karate chop, or am I? I'm not really sure where that works.
Are you sober enough to even chop straight?
Let's do it together. Let's do the tandem chop. All right.
1, 2, 3. Oh, you're late.
I'm so late.